What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Bourbon of the Week. My name's Chris. I'm going to be your host for today, and we have poured up 3 different bourbons from a company called McLaughlin Distillery out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Now, a couple of months ago in May, I believe, we dropped a video called Top 5 Whiskeys from Pennsylvania. I actually put out a poll on PA Bourbon Squad. If you're not a part of that, check it out. On my Discord from everybody I know in the Pennsylvania area and surrounding areas saying, what's your favorite whiskey from Pennsylvania? We came up with a list of 5 of them. I put that video out. It recently resurfaced because an article came out and actually put my video in it, which was really cool to see. But somebody reached out to me on Facebook and said, how do you know that this is the top 5 whiskeys of Pennsylvania? What was your process? Anything like that, which is very interesting because, again, being only one person, I couldn't try them all. He said you have to try McLaughlin Distillery, and that's what we have poured up today. Now listen, maybe my list will change after today. Maybe we'll revisit it later this year and redo that list. Maybe it'll stay exactly the same. But we are going to try these up. We're going to start over here. This is McLaughlin Distillery. It's called $37.99. That's not the price tag. That's actually what it's called. Let's get into it. Everybody knows. Time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. Okay. So here's the deal. I do have some notes written down. I obviously don't know everything about this distillery. I will tell you one thing. Go to their website, click the About page, and watch the YouTube video they have. The gentleman, Kim McLaughlin, is absolutely amazing. He seems like the type of dude I would want to sit down and just talk whiskey with. He seems to know his stuff. He's been doing this for a long time. He's been in every type of industry that you can imagine. But we're going to start with this. This is $37.99. And again, that's not the price point. That's actually what it's called. It does run you $69.99 for a 5th of this. But if you buy 4 of these, you actually get a barrel free, a 5-gallon barrel for free, which is kind of cool because I've never had one and I've always thought about getting one. Now, these guys are all about supporting local, doing everything in shop. They're not sourcing any of this product. I didn't see the word straight on any of their bottles, what they put online. I don't have the actual bottles with me. I've reached out to the gentleman, thank you, Brian, for sending these to me, and asked him if he saw any age statement or anything on the actual bottles. He did not as well. I do not want to assume just because it doesn't say straight on the bottle that it's not 2 years old, but at the same time, it usually is a type of thing that you're going to put straight on the bottle or an age statement. If it is older than 2 years old, I can tell you drinking this right now, it doesn't seem like it's less than 2 years old, but at the same time, again, they do not have straight on the bottle. I'm just giving you the facts of what I know. I will say this, if this is under 2 years, it's one of the better bottles that I've ever had under 2 years old. It absolutely does not drink like an under 2-year-old craft whiskey, but at the same time, they do mention, and I don't know if they build all of their barrels, but we're going to talk about it during the baby barrels. They do build their baby barrels. But when it comes to this one, I don't know if they're building their 50-gallon barrels, but they get the trees from the north, and that's what they use the wood for the barrels because they have shorter growing seasons, which allow more of those rings to be brought out, which allows a different flavor profile from their whiskey, and this is absolutely fantastic. Now, is $70 for this bottle a bit expensive? Probably, but this guy already knows that. Takes care of his employees, pays them a livable wage, makes sure he does everything local, takes care of his local people. Everything is done in-house, so I can't really be too mad about a craft distillery with a higher price. We see it all the time with these smaller distilleries, and this guy is upfront, in your face about it and does not care. This is a great pour. I'd pick one up for 70 bucks. And up next, we're going to get into the baby bourbon. Now, the only baby bourbon experience I have is with Hudson Whiskey Baby Bourbon, and I absolutely did not like it. Out of New York. If you've tried it, let me know in the comment section below what you think. But this will be our second experience with a baby bourbon. These are done in 2.5-gallon barrels that are handcrafted on site. This particular one is 90 proof, and then this is the exact same thing, except it's single cask and it's at barrel strength. See, that's different. That one is a lot more different than this one. I think I enjoyed the $37.99 a little bit better off the first sip of the baby bourbon. This one seems to show a little bit more of that youthfulness. And again, I don't know if this is 2 years old. I don't know if this is 2 years old. None of them said straight bourbon, so I just have to assume that they are. But at the end of the day, this seemed like it was a lot older, even though this has a lot more opportunity to touch the barrels. This is still good. It doesn't give me any type of Hudson Whiskey Baby Bourbon vibes, but at the same time, it's not my favorite when it comes to the flavor profile. Almost gives me some of those tannins, a little bit of dryness. For 90 proof, it sips very easily. Let's take one more sip and see what we think. Those vanillas and those caramels do shine through a little bit, but a lot of the youth comes out of this glass as well. I will say right now, the $37.99 is my favorite. This bottle being $100, again, a little bit more expensive. He does not care, neither do I. But I do think the youthfulness shines through a little bit too much on this particular bottle for a 90 proof whiskey. But let's try the cask strength version of this because I think maybe that'll take some of that away. I will also say this, there's a lot of craft distillery stuff I try that you can just straight up tell it's craft distillery. This hits with the big boys. This tastes like something the big distilleries are putting out. It is delicious. Again, just some of that youthfulness shining through. But let's get into the cask strength version right here. This usually runs between 120 and 125 proof. Let's try it. Okay, that's the sweet spot right there. Listen, this 90 proof allows that flavor profile to taste youthful, right? It doesn't hide any of that youthfulness, but right here, and I won't lie to you, there's definitely an ethanol kick on this, but it takes all that youthfulness out of the equation. The vanillas, the caramels, the oak on this stand out. The 2.5 gallon drums definitely give it some of that age profile that you aren't expecting. And at the end of the day, I almost get like a cherry bomb on this as well. You still get a little bit of that youthfulness, but nothing near what you're getting off the 90 proof. This right here is really good. And I said it before and I'll say it again. This bottle comes in at $199. Is that too expensive? Probably. Does he know it? You got it. Yes, he does. Here's one thing that I will say about the craft distillery scene that I don't really think I understood up until recently. Obviously, these guys can't compete with the big boys. There's a lot going on in the whiskey industry right now when it comes to barrels, when it comes to glassware, when it comes to all of these different things that the big guys are struggling with, and that makes your prices go up. So just look at all the prices going up on the big guy stuff. Yet these smaller distilleries have the same problems, the same things going on, maybe a little bit less demand in a national scale, but just as much of a demand with the product that they're putting out and the numbers and the volume that they're putting out. So it's actually amazing that these smaller distilleries can keep up with this. This right here is a distillery that I do think will be on the top 5 whiskeys of Pennsylvania's come this year. I think I'm going to do another one in May just to highlight another 5 whiskeys out of Pennsylvania. Brian, thank you for sending me these. This was absolutely fantastic. At $199, I think it's a tough ask. But if you're local, if you want to support somebody out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and you want to stay in Pennsylvania, this is absolutely one you have to pick up. So my order with these 3 particular glasses is going to be the Baby Bourbon Cask Strength, then the $37.99. If you put either of these in a blind against some of the bigger name stuff, I don't know if I'd be able to pick them out as a craft. I do think that this one, the Baby Bourbon Original 90 proof, does seem a little bit youthful, does seem a little bit more like that craft distillery note, but at the same time, it's still delicious. It's still something that I would recommend you picking up. McLaughlin Distillery is something that I now have on my radar. I can't wait to see what else they do. They have plenty of other bottles, some flavored stuff, which I'm not into, but if you are, definitely check them out. I will put the link in the description below. Go try some of their stuff. Comment in the comment section below if you've had it and let me know what you think. But in the meantime, make sure you click that like and that subscribe button. Check us out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. Go click that follow button over there. Make sure you check out our Patreon page. That link in the description below. Please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly and stay healthy, stay happy, stay drinking. Cheers, y'all. It's pretty damn good.